to Freedom Talk. I'm so excited to be here with Jenny Giblin of jennygiblin.com. You are the cutest. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited that we could do our interview while you're in Mexico. I just wish I was there.
Oh,
we could do the interview on the beach.
I know. I wish you were here with us. So guys, Jenny is amazing. She's a therapist. She's a health and wellness expert. She's a yoga instructor, and I just adore her. And I'm so excited for her to share some of her freedom secrets with us today. So Jenny, I mean, you have such a wicked bio, such a wicked profile. I mean, I could go on for days, but I'd rather you tell us more about you. Tell us what you're working on, what you're so passionate about. Follow you on social media. We've become friends over the last few months, and you're just amazing.
Oh, thank you. I always feel so weird when people talk about me. I'm like, oh, who are you describing? Because I'm just so used to it. It just kind of all happened kind of naturally, I guess. Was just last year, around this time I was in grad school at Syracuse University. I'm originally from snowy Buffalo, New York, and so I had gotten this very almost lucky opportunity to move to Hawaii while I was in school, and I couldn't say no. It made no sense because I was halfway done with grad school, like finally almost ready to start this career that I put off, and then just kind of canceled everything and moved to Hawaii. And while I was there, I thought I was taking a break from school, and what ended up happening was, for whatever reason, one thing after another started happening very synchronistically, and I became very immersed in hot yoga. I found a book called The Power of Positive Thinking that happened to have been written right outside the hotel on the beach where I was reading it, and so little things like that started adding up. And the more I learned, the more I just kind of started realizing, as my whole life started just completely changing all around me, that this was happening for some bigger reason. And so I kind of got the feeling like this was going to happen so that I could help more and more people, maybe in a bigger way than I had expected. And so I had planned originally just to take maybe like a year or two and live in Hawaii, and spent a little bit longer than that, and then moved back just so I could finish school. And sure enough, my plan before had been just to kind of settle down, like be a therapist in an office 9 to 5. And I knew there was some kind of bigger thing going on, but I didn't know what that meant. And so I graduated within 9 months instead of a year, was able to be on the top of my program. All of my clients were achieving all of these amazing results because I kind of took everything that I learned from Hawaii and then combined it with the traditional therapy approach. So it really started going beyond just treating the issues that they came in with and getting to a point where they felt like they had transformed, and then the rest of their life they wanted to see transformed too. And so all of the results that we were getting just really had this powerful effect. And I knew it wasn't just me, it was just everything that I had learned. And so I graduated, I came home for what was supposed to be 2 weeks, and within just a few more weeks I started getting interviews, one after another, for different magazines. My Instagram account kind of exploded, and so I went from having like 100 followers a year before that to over 10,000 in a year. Like not even trying, just posting things. And so things started happening very quickly. I was asked to be on the Dr. Oz show, not once but twice. And then I ended up going on Yoga Girls retreat. She's amazing. If you follow her, she has 1 million followers. She's just full of light and love and yoga. So I just wanted to go on the retreat for myself, and then we ended up connecting and becoming friends. I ended up teaching on her Bonaire retreat, and so it was just kind of this huge thing that just happened in my life. No longer felt like it was anything like before. So
wow,
that's kind of my story.
But what do you think it is? It's so beautiful. It just seems that, first of all, you were just totally open to opportunities, because you could have been following the plan that you had set out, that you had intended to go with. But what was this openness? It just feels like all these incredible opportunities are constantly coming to you, and you're ready for them. You're prepared for them. How do you get yourself in this sort of state every single day?
That's a good question. Well, I think one of the things that I learned in Hawaii was, I think the way my mindset had been before that was very kind of confined, and I didn't even think I could go to grad school at the time. I already had student loans. We all have our story that kind of keeps us stuck in place, and I was by far immersed in that story. At one time I was working at the mall, not at all doing what I wanted, and this was just a few years ago. And so as soon it got just so bad that I no longer cared anymore, and it was just that was the turning point for me, where I was I don't care whatever it takes, I'm not doing this anymore. And so I ended up going back to grad school, and it was like that moment where I just started believing I could do what I wanted and I could have what I wanted. The universe just kind of opened up more and was like, okay, yes, you can, and now you can move to Hawaii. And before, I never would have done that. And then from there, it was like, okay, you can do that, and now you can kind of serve in this epic way, and all of these opportunities can come in. And so I think in Hawaii, it just opened up like a whole new world where I realized maybe my plan was not the best plan. Like maybe there is more to all of this. If I can do this, then anyone can do this. So I could help them do this. And so I think that mindset of just really being able to let go and just see what else is possible, and then really believing that you can have anything that you want and you can do anything that you want, really just waking up with that mindset every morning and just kind of getting in that routine so that everything that you do comes from a space of you can do what you want.
I love it. I love it. So talk to us a little bit about your success habits, because, you know, in order to think the way that you do and function the way that you do on a daily basis, there needs to be some sort of, I guess, daily practice that allows you to show up fully every single day. So what does that look like for you?
So for me, I think probably the biggest thing that I do is every morning before I get out of bed, I used to wake up to the alarm going off and just like everything I had to do for the day. And that was probably the number one change that I made. And it was from the books that I learned in Hawaii. I have not missed a day of doing that since then. And my life has transformed, I think, just from this one practice. So before I even get out of bed, I just kind of go through my mind, just thinking about all the things that I have to be grateful for. And so I don't know how long I spend on that. It might just be a few minutes. Some days it's longer than others. I actually am like, kind of in this good mood, like you're excited to get out of bed. And then the next thing I do, I learned from Gabrielle Bernstein, who is a big self-help guru, kind of just like letting go of control for the day. And so I always ask, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say? And to whom? And then I add like, what miracles would you have me perform? Which is what she taught me. And from that moment on, like everything changes. And so it doesn't really matter like who I guess you're asking those things to, like just whatever higher power you believe in, or just like life itself, like okay, like life, like what do you want me to do today? And then kind of surrendering that control, and I'm really just kind of keeping like a healthy like mindset even from the beginning of the day. So I feel like you can eat whatever you want if you come from a mindset of still like just like wanting to be healthy and feel amazing and like loving yourself and what you put into your body. Because I used to be so unhealthy, I really have to take this more kind of like a stricter approach with like making sure I have my hot water with lemon like first thing in the morning, my green smoothie comes next, and just kind of starting the day like so that you feel so good that you're excited for whatever the day is. Like I don't understand why people hate Mondays, because I get so excited when it's a Monday. It's like a whole new week and you can do all of these epic things. So I think those are probably the biggest practices that just shift my mind, and they're so easy. Like you can do them anytime, anywhere.
Absolutely. So easy to incorporate. And what about finishing off the day? So what does the evening practice look like for you? Because I'm sure you got something.
I do. So the evening practice is a little bit similar. Lately, I feel like if I don't meditate, like I'm not the same person. And so I think a lot of people sometimes assume meditation means like sitting on a pillow for hours, and you can do that, but it does not have to be that way. And so for me, I like to just try mine in the evening so that way I have time to really just settle in and get more relaxed and turn off my mind from everything I did. And I'll take maybe just like 15 minutes and just put on music, maybe light some candles. I always have flowers kind of everywhere. And so just kind of like making your own little relaxing environment and just allowing yourself that time to turn off slowly. Another thing I like to do is instead of taking a shower, I take a bath every single day. And I love pink Himalayan sea salt. I do know why it works, but it doesn't even matter. You just get the salt and you can pour it into your bathtub and just really like detoxify everything. And it's so soothing and it's so powerful. And in Hawaii, that was one of the big things there, but it's starting to become more prevalent. You can find pink salt at your grocery store or Whole Foods, and so I'll put maybe a pound in, which is kind of a lot, but you can even just do a cup or just a sprinkle or whatever bath salt that you like, and just really unwind again from the day. If you want to light a candle or have a glass of wine, like something that's soothing. And then when you're ready for bed, I think the evening routine that I do is kind of similar to the morning, but I just go back in my mind and think, what was the best thing that happened today? Like, what can I be the most grateful for? And it kind of tricks your mind into going back in time and thinking about every single good thing that happened during the day. And I found that even on days where I felt like a little bit maybe more stressed out than usual or just a little more overwhelmed and wasn't feeling like it was a good day, when you start to think back, you notice so many good things happen, and it just totally shifts your whole mindset, and then you can really just pick the one that you're most grateful for and just be grateful for that moment and then fall asleep.
Oh, that's so amazing, because sometimes, I remember before during my corporate career, it was that habit of having my phone on me, starting off the day with the iPhone and then finishing the day with the iPhone. It just totally gets you out of alignment. And so if we can do more of something like that, that allows us to tune in, and that gratitude, we all know that the more grateful we are for the things we have in our life right now, the more greatness we can attract into our lives. I love that. Thank you so much. And what are you reading? I want to know, what books are you reading right now? What are you excited to start reading?
I'm actually in my home office right now, which is basically my bedroom. I think we talked a little earlier. I'm staying right now in my hometown taking care of my parents, which is so good because when you have that freedom, you don't have to worry, like, who's going to take care of them. You get to decide where you want to be. And so I kind of transformed the whole upstairs, so it's kind of like my sanctuary. So I'm just looking over there now. I have not one, but 2 copies of Spirit Junkie, which is by Gabrielle Bernstein. And I like it because I feel like it reminds me almost of the same journey that I underwent in Hawaii and how everything started shifting for me. And then Gabrielle and her work about letting go and just kind of undoing the limiting beliefs was that missing piece that I started using with all of my clients and my own life. And so I credit her with really changing everything. So I have 2 autographed copies over there. And then there's another book that I love called Love Before Fear. It's by Emily Obb. She's, I think, 19 years old. You would never know. She's amazing. And she has kind of taken it on herself to really share her story about overcoming anxiety, and has created this whole movement of young girls that are coming to her website and sharing their story. And so I feel like when people are talking about that in recovery, it just gives you so much more space to kind of accept where you're at and then overcome where you're at too. So I have so many self-help books that you can tell I'm a therapist, like anyone who would come in here. And then right now I'm also reading A Course in Miracles, which is a little bit out there for some people. Yes, Marianne Williamson.
This is the one I'm reading, so we're totally in tune, aligned.
We are in sync. That is so funny. I keep it by my bed now, and like once you go through the book and every day basically there's a lesson. It's a little hard to understand. The first time I actually picked it up, I put it down, and I remember just being like, what is this book? This is weird. I don't understand it. I just let it go. And then eventually began getting more into the work through Gabrielle and Marianne Williamson. And finally, I think when you're ready for that book,
Yes, 100%.
So I picked it up after a trip to Mexico, and I was like, all right, I'm ready now. And so you start doing the lessons every day. There's an affirmation kind of that undoes a lot of our limiting beliefs about ourselves. And once you go through it once, I guess you can go through it again. But I think I've seen the most changes in my life occur after doing that book. And now I'll use it just kind of like if I have a question or I'm not sure what to do, I'll open it up to a random page, and I always get the wisdom that I need.
Oh, I love it. It's so beautiful. And you're so right about the timing. I think I bought that book about 4 years ago, and it is still on my shelf. So I'm starting with A Return to Love, and then I know in perfect timing, I'll grab the big blue book and we'll talk about it as well.
Yes.
I love it. And so our community is really comprised of different types of individuals, but individuals who are just starting in on their freedom journey. So maybe individuals who are working a full-time job or working their corporate career, but are looking to more follow their passion and start living what their heart's desires. So what advice do you have for those individuals who are just starting out as entrepreneurs? Maybe still they have their prior commitments and, are scared and don't really know what the future looks like for them. Like, what advice do you have for people that just want to do full-time what their souls desire, but aren't yet 100% sure how to do it?
That's a really good question. So there's a few things that come to mind, and I think the number one thing is that you can make that full-time. I think so many of us associate money and wealth with having a job or all of just being aware of whatever beliefs that you have, just start to notice those and start to see how they're affecting you and how you feel when you have those thoughts, like that you have to stay at your corporate job or that you can't maybe earn the life that you want. But when you start to notice and you just become more aware, you start to take the power out of those beliefs just by noticing them. And so you can start to get into the next level of shifting your thoughts so that you believe that you can have everything that you want. It really is an inside job. And so you can have an affirmation. The one that I used in Hawaii, there's actually like a very powerful one that was given to me, and I didn't remember what it was. And so I looked it up later, and I had it completely wrong, but it still worked because it's just enough that it's like if you are willing, like the rest will come to you. And so mine that I ended up creating, I guess, was that I am happy, I am healthy, I am wealthy. I am happy, I am healthy, I am wealthy. And so if you can start saying that enough, you can start to believe it. And so before I would go to sleep every night in Hawaii, I just started thinking that over and over and over. And so you can fall asleep with that in your mind, and then just every day kind of waking up, picturing maybe like how you want your life to be like and visualizing what that would feel like. And so if you are not even sure exactly what you want, just start to think like, okay, like what would my life look like if I had all the money I needed to do what I wanted, or I could go to Mexico and travel, or I could go to Aruba and go on whatever retreats I want and then do my own, and just start to feel like that now, and then notice all the things that you have that might be lining up for you that you might not have noticed before. And so just it kind of goes back to being grateful for what you have now, and it'll start expanding all around you. And if you're not sure that that works, just try it and see what starts to begin to shift. And I think just really, if you still have other commitments, it can feel overwhelming to like think and compare yourself to other people who are already there. But a lot of times, like people who follow me on Instagram, they didn't see what I had to go through to get to this. And I guarantee that there were times that they would not have wanted that. So I think that transformation that sometimes has to happen, like that inner shift that we all have, like just knowing that you're on your path. If you want something, you can have it. If you're not sure how to get it, just keep asking, like whoever it is that you believe in or whatever it is, just how can I do this in an epic way? And then committing to maybe doing just like an hour every night of working. If you still have a job, I have a good friend who was nannying and was a teacher, and she has now started spending just 1 hour a day on her coaching practice. And her Instagram is like exploding. Gabrielle Bernstein is following her. Like all of these things just start happening when you start to feel like you already have what it is that you want. So I know for me, when all of this started happening, like sometimes I still am like, who, like what is going on? But part of me did feel like I don't know what it was. I think I was so sure that the universe wanted me to help a lot of people. So that when all of this started happening, Dr. Oz producers were calling, like I almost like expected that to happen. So you just kind of know. So really just like loving the life that you have, and then maybe write a gratitude list, just 10 things that you want to have in the future, and write it as if they already came true. I love doing that. And then I look back and it's like that came true and that came true. So just it helps you get in that mindset that you already have it, and then you can walk around in your life just feeling as happy as if you do.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
Oh no, that is so beautiful. And I think whoever's watching this, and if it's their divine timing to watch it, replay it over and over again, guys. Get in tune with that, because it's possible. You know, there's so many of us that are living our soul's purpose, and we're sharing that freedom with others, and it's possible for anyone. It's just you need to know that that's where you want to go and start taking the action. So thank you for those steps. Super, super beautiful. Now I see you're rocking your freedom shirt. Thank you. We're so grateful that you're supporting the Freedom Project. It truly is a heart-led project for us, for my husband and I. We've given away our first Freedom Funds. We're so excited to give away our second ones next quarter. What does freedom mean to you?
What does freedom mean to me? I really feel like freedom means just being able to have whatever it is that you really want and truly believe that you can have. I feel like that's kind of a long-winded answer, but I think just like when you picture yourself, I guess maybe laying like in the ocean, like in the middle of the water, just like relaxing, like just laying there, and you feel like your life is so amazing, everything around you is amazing, like the earth is amazing, just like one thing after another, it just is so amazing. You can have that feeling like right now in Buffalo, New York. And like to me, it's like when you start to feel that way inside, the whole rest of your life will start to come this like lifestyle of just freedom and just being able to be happy and to make money just by being yourself, I guess, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Without feeling like you're having to work. I never feel like I'm working ever. And so I think just being able to have what you want in life and to kind of create your life and then just be like the happiest, healthiest version of yourself is freedom.
That's so beautiful, just like you. And so just to finish off, where can we find you? How can we follow you? Give us your links. And yeah, again, we're just so grateful to have this chat with you.
So you can go to my website. It's just my name. It's jennygiblin.com. Most people follow me on Instagram. That's kind of how everyone finds me. So it's, again, just my name, Jenny Giblin. If you put #Therapize, all of my posts will come up. So it's just a word I made up in grad school, and now it's in the dictionary, which is amazing. So that's pretty much where you can find me. I'm also on Facebook. And I think that's pretty much it. I have Twitter, but I think Instagram and my website are the two favorites.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, darling. Have an amazing day today, and I can't wait to share this with everybody. So we'll talk to you soon.
But I have to say, this is probably the most comfortable shirt that I've ever had, and I get a lot of free things, and I wear this one all the time, and everyone's like, what is the Freedom Project? Because it's so comfortable. So if you are thinking about getting one of these, trust me, I am not just saying this, it's so soft.
Oh, thank you. And you know what? We've started calling it accountability gear. So for anyone who's on their freedom journey, they look down. I'm rocking mine as well, and it's like, hey, whether it's blue skies and butterfly or shit hits the fan, it's like you're on your journey, and that's all that matters. So
yeah, I love that.
Well, thank you again, darling. Can't wait to talk to you soon, and have an amazing day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.